Dick and Jane, I think, for me, were two of the world's most notorious nobodies. And I think in my interpretation of them, they became relevant, whereas before they were irrelevant.
Well, Dick and Jane had been living together for years when I found them, and I thought that they would make the most astonishing film.
I began work on what I call an improvised monologue, which is myself talking for days and days and days, just talking. And I imitate Dick, and I imitate Jane, and I'm always in their presence while I'm doing it.
I have this favorite scene from my film, and it's very hard to talk about it. I feel very, very shy. I mean, I think it's pride.
Oh gosh, I'm very happy with the majority of the show, and I give it 4 or 4.5, you know, probably out of 5.
The work comes to life before an audience, I believe, in a way that Jane and Dick never could. I mean, I think the film is like being at home with Dick and Jane.
It's Dick and Jane at home, you know, in its essence.
And they are such ordinary people. I mean, especially Dick.
They could be Dick and Sandra. They could be Dick and Rose. They could be Dick and Janine Foisey, right? It's astonishing how fucking it could be Dick and Zsa Zsa. I love the smell of live theater. I like that you can smell the actors, in particular, their hair or their breasts, I don't know, whatever you can smell. You can't smell actors on film. You can't. Who says you can? Bullshit.
I have a hard time taking theater seriously.
All good ideas in film have come from theater.
I find a live theater audience feels embarrassed for themselves and embarrassed for the performers.
There hasn't yet been a real film made. There has not been a real film made. They don't understand the medium they're working in. Dick is very, very human.
Jane is very human.
Dick is very human. Jane is human too, but she's not as human as Dick.
I mean, Dick is human in a way, but Jane is very human.
I didn't want to let Dick be Dick as Dick. I didn't want to let his humanity hinder him or prevent him from becoming more human. I didn't want that to happen.
Jane's humanity, for me, almost immediately became a symbol for her vulnerability, but not vulnerability as a weakness, more of a convex space where Dick could ensconce himself.
And the more I became aware of this humanity in Dick, the more I tried to smear it, if I can use that word, with idiosyncratic layer upon layer of the most, in a way, revolting and yet kind of attractive layers. And my goal here in this layering of Dick is to protect him from Jane's more oppressive form of humanity.
Jane's humanity was being used by Dick as a protective enclave for his humanity.
So in the play,
So in the film,
I have constructed a portrait of him which is thicker than the original Dick.
I have fleshed out, I have added layers of flesh, of fat, of raw animal that gives Jane this presence.
But at the nugget, though,
In the nugget,
in the nub of it,
in the nub of it,
there's this very human Dick and Jane.
there is this very human Jane and Dick. Well, of course, I'm aware of the stage version, the play.
I became aware that she was in filming. I think I was in the middle of the 5th draft of my play. Yeah.
So I went to the play with the actress that I had cast in the film as Jane, and
I mean, she had seen the play, okay, which is very apparent in the film.
when the theater lights came up, I turned to her and she had this look on her face. I mean, it was quite something. It was like, well, did he read the same book as you? I mean, it was like, you know.
And I think, I mean, I read her film, and I know many people who read this, you know. Her film is an interpretation of my play and a misinterpretation, right? So she has, I mean, I think what she's created now is this film within a play, within a film.
It was very funny. I mean,
Within a play, within a film, and all that is within the play, but she's filmed it.
we were clearly on such different pages that the play wasn't even recognizable. I mean, there was this leering mask of Dick on the stage against my very human portrait of Jane.
So her Dick and Jane, or Jane and Dick, is really, it's like this, this mouth has come over my production and clamped it and sucked it up in this strangely, I don't know, sexual, quasi-sexual gesture. And she's holding it there in this sort of prolonged, torturous sort of grip, right? Some sort of sexual innuendo about my work. And it's like a death grip.
These countermasks. On the one side, Jane looking for the truth, and then Dick, you know, leering and veering at the audience.
And her film cannibalized my play, so that she has now a Jane with my Jane on it. Or her Dick has my Dick in it. My Jane has her Dick in it. Her Jane has my Dick on it.